The Billion Oyster Project. It sounds like a lot of oysters. That's because it is. Oris are working with the Billion Oyster Project to restore the oysters in New York Harbor. To do that, they have come up with a limited edition, the New York Harbor 2. So this is the second in a series of limited editions that are dedicated to restoring the New York Harbor. I have this latest edition hands-on to show you guys. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a new Oris Aquis limited edition New York Harbor 2. A few months ago, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen this watch. And I might have been on the harbor here in New York City because I was with Oris. They took us out on a boat that went around New York City, and the founder of the Billion Oyster Project was there, and he was talking about the project and how they're trying to restore New York Harbor. And they're trying to restore the oysters that were in New York Harbor, and they are doing a pretty good job of it. And a big supporter of this project is, of course, Oris. Oris have committed a lot of money to conservation and recycling and things like that. So when you get an Oris now, it comes in a recycled box. So the box is made out of recycled materials. And the idea behind this watch is that a portion of the profits of this watch go to the Billion Oyster Project. Again, that benefits New York City, the New York City waterways. Pretty cool, and it's a very good looking watch. It gets a mother of pearl dial, which is very sustainable. And this is a green mother of pearl. So I believe they get that by dyeing the mother of pearl. But when you look at it, it almost looks like a beautiful ocean color. It's a really nice color of this dial. And then of course you have applied indices, which is typical on the Aquis. This is a limited edition version of the Aquis. It's limited to 2,000 pieces, and it's called the Oris New York Harbor Limited Edition 2 because they did make an edition before this, so this is the second edition of this watch. It comes on a bracelet and a strap. I have the strap here to show you. It also comes with a bracelet though, so it comes with a full stainless steel bracelet, the normal bracelet that you would find on the Aquis. This gets a stainless steel bezel insert, so a little bit different. So you're getting a steel on steel look for the bezels. This is the 43 millimeter version, so it is slightly larger. When you turn it on its side, you will see that these watches are really made nicely. There's a reason why these are very popular, and they're a main staple in the Oris collection. There are custom screws that are really beautifully made, holding in the strap, and then of course those crown guards. The crown guards don't cover the crown completely, just a little bit, and the crown is very grippy and beautifully signed with the Oris name or their logo. Turn it on its other side and you can see there is a very large area that is chamfered there. Very comfortable watch to wear, and then you can see the other side of those screws. The case back is special on here, obviously, because this is a limited edition. It's a special limited edition, and it says New York Harbor Limited Edition. There are some oysters that are beautifully stamped into the back of the case back. You get a solid case back on this watch. And like I was saying, this is a limited edition of 2,000 watches, which seems like a lot of watches, but this is a very popular watch for Oris, and I think that they sell a lot of these. These are very popular. A lot of people want them, so 2,000 does kind of make sense. Inside, you get the caliber 733-1, which is based on a Sellita SW200. You do get a red rotor on that movement, so all Oris get a red rotor, whether or not you have a closed case back. And then of course you have their clasp on here. Very nice clasp with a little bit of micro adjust. It is a manual micro adjust on this clasp, but the fact that this clasp has micro adjust is really good. It is one of those cut to size clasps, so you need to know that you are close to your wrist size before you cut it. And then of course you give yourself 3 positions of micro adjust, which works pretty well. It is signed Oris, and there are 2 big lines of polish on the clasp. It looks fantastic. Turning it on its side, you can see it's a push button enclosure. Just a really nice clasp, a really nice strap. I love the color of this strap. It's like an aqua green blue. I think that they call this a blue dial, I want to say, but it's more like a greenish blue. They may call it a green dial, but it's somewhere in between green and blue. Measurements on this watch, 43 millimeters at the bezel, spot on. It's a little bit smaller at the case, so it tends to look a little bit smaller because of that. I would say it looks like a 42 millimeter watch. On wrist, I would say it wears like a 42, between a 42 millimeter and a 43 millimeter watch, considering that it's an integrated bracelet watch. It actually does wear its size, which is kind of rare. You have a 51 millimeter lug to lug. It is a true lug to lug on this watch because you do have female end links. And then you have a 13 millimeter thickness with 300 meters of water resistance. The dial on here just says Oris right below the 12 o'clock. Right above the 6 o'clock, you do have a date window that is not color matched, but it takes the place of the index at 6 o'clock, or part of the index at 6 o'clock. Right above that, it says that it's 300 meters of water resistance. Above that, it says pressure resistant. And then, of course, above that, Aquis, which is, of course, the name of this watch. On my wrist today, I have a new release from Nevada Grenchen. This is their, I think this is called the racing version of the Chrono King. And it has interchangeable bezels. This is the standard black bezel, but this gets a British racing green or an emerald green dial and lots of lume. Very cool watch for a very good price. And there is the Aquis on my 7.5-inch wrist. Now, like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this on my wrist a few times already. It definitely looks really good on my wrist. This is the larger version of the Aquis, so 43 millimeters, but it wears like a 42 or a 43 millimeter watch, I would say. It's also kind of thin because it is a 300 meter dive watch. You're getting 300 meters of water resistance. It's only 13 millimeters thick, and then you have a 51 millimeter lug to lug. It looks great on my 7.5-inch wrist. Well, there you go. Lume, pretty good on here. Pretty bright on the hands and indices. And then, of course, you have lume in the second hand, which I love to see. You have a little bit of a pip in the bezel. And again, that's just to give you orientation in the dark, so you could time things in the dark as well. Really quickly, let's listen to the bezel action. $120 click bezel, feels really nice, sounds really good as well. Overall, I think this is a very nice watch. If you're looking for a dive watch from a brand that has a lot of heritage, something that is really distinct looking, because obviously the Aquis has a very distinct look. When you see it on someone's wrist, if you know about watches, you know it's an Oris, you know it's an Aquis. And that is definitely a very good thing. Tell me what you guys think about this watch down in the comment section below. Price on this is $3,000. You are getting a lot of watch for that $3,000 and a lot of brand recognition as well, like I was just saying, because this is a watch that when people see it on your wrist, they're going to know what it is. Pretty cool, and I think it's overall a very good looking watch that goes for a very good cause. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.